So my rant right here is about, I don't know if you would say like overworking, because by the way, when I was like in my early 20s and I believed you could go chase your dream, I worked like 9 days a week of work. There's only 7, but I worked 9 because I believed you could do what you needed to do. Anyways, I want to switch notes here for a moment and say my rant for right now is about people who overdo everything. And it's also like, where did that come from? The over optimization, because we're hard workers, which you should already do. That should be built in. Why are you proving it to anybody? But I know we fall into that. We do. So again, if that's what you want to do, go for it. I know what working 9 days a week of work for like 7 years, what that does to you. It isn't that great. And you actually, by the way, it doesn't always get you to where you got to go. But I do see this huge trend that increases over the years of over like stimulation, over optimizing, and it's great. But I feel like you should almost treat all the things that you want to do and all your dreams and your aspirations and your goals, you got to treat them as like, I can't pick something that I want to do if I don't see a follow through of me being able to get through with that task, with that goal. And I know a lot of people, I mean, specifically in the works that I would do was, I've always worked in like broadcast production, podcasting, et cetera, all these fields. So I'm very comfortable and aware when I see somebody and I talk with them, and all of a sudden I know that they are biting off more than they could handle. And then they always look at me like I'm crazy, and no one should. You shouldn't look at me like I'm crazy, because I've been doing this for over a lot of years. I've been doing this since the early 2000s, and I am somebody who will not stop. I'm very dedicated. I'm very passionate. You should almost defer to kind of like what I feel. Now, I'm not saying my way's right and your way's wrong, but I know that a lot of people, they look at me, again, brand new to the party, started today, and they're like wanting to sort of like, if I give advice like, oh, okay, you gotta like make sure you could do and maintain these goals. And a lot of people have this mindset of like, I could do it all. Again, been there. But I think sustainability is something that we keep forgetting to talk about. So you have to be able to do these tasks, and you have to be able to do them in a way that you can say, I can, cross out the to-do list. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. So I've been in many situations where I've been reflected back to with collaborative situations where these coworkers or colleagues were like looking at me like, oh, why doesn't he want as much as we want? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm doing 36 things already. Second of all, I'm being an advisor in this situation because I've been on air radio, behind the scenes radio, TV, on the television, behind the scenes. Like, I kind of know what I'm talking about on a lot of things, and I know that sustainability is very hard. So if you want to shoot for the gold, that's fine. But I know more people that want to do that and fall flat every time. And so what is the point of being, hoorah, I could do it all? That's great. I love it and I'm passionate for you. But if you can't do it all, you have to really kind of defer and be smart. It is really about working smarter, not harder. But let's not get off the point of the work ethic should still be there. Sometimes when I mention that, people get in the space of like, oh, well, you need to be doing more. You need to really get it. And I'm like, no, you hone your craft, hone your skill. If it's whatever the thing is, I want to learn 2 new languages, get it, work it out, work hard. But you can't just say you want to do a ton of things for the sake of feeling like you're doing a lot. Pick 5 great things that you could actually achieve. And then when you achieve those, build up. Now, I by no means meant to make this like a life coach situation. I did just want to talk about the overstimulation, the over optimization, the over I could do everything, hard work and never not working. Well, if you're never not working, you're also not sleeping, and we need to recharge ourselves. So I want to get into the space of optimization and getting it done where you also factor in those good things. I always say, getting fresh air, coming to a park. This is what I'm doing. So you have to, as hard as you want to work, be able to A, sustain it, and if you can, great. And then B, to have the nuance and that duality of like, it can't just be your identities thrown into nothing but work, nothing but passion. Now I'm talking specifically about work, but a lot of these things apply. The people who want to like start a business, the people who want to like the same year they want to learn the 2 languages, they also need to lose 45 pounds. And the year that they want to lose 45 pounds, they've got this big family reunion or high school reunion or whatever, college reunion. It's like, don't do too much. Now, on one hand, momentum will get you there too. So I kind of like the idea of like putting everything together and maximizing it. But I just think like it's important, and maybe I'm wrong, we could have a conversation here. I think it's important for you to really not be fooled by just saying, there it is, not just saying what you want to do, but also fulfilling it and following through. If your follow through is nothing, what did it really matter that you said you could do 17 things? A lot of people talk. It's the follow through. It's the follow through that's the most important. So I don't know what is kind of the vibe right now, but I do know that sometimes I see a lot of people, and I've worked with a lot of people who have, you know what it's like? It's like food. They have bigger, what is that term with food? Your stomach was bigger than your eyes. Wait, no, your eyes were bigger than your stomach, meaning you say, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want this. And then you're like, the dishes start coming out and you're full. And it's like, yeah, your eyes were bigger than your stomach. You thought you could eat it all and you really couldn't. Nothing wrong with that, you know, go for yours. Same thing applies with like this optimizing and maximizing. If you could do it, do it. You're talking to somebody who, again, in my 20s, nobody could tell me. And things were different back then. You know, now we have a lot of really wonderful direct to consumer to build your, you know, in this case, like a podcast project. You know, when I worked these 9 days a week, it was working in radio for, you know, the very bottom level, the entry level, the intern level. You did have to work 5 days over here, 2 days over here, 2 days over there, and all these different markets, driving 2.5 hours to, you know, get your name out there and to build. So I definitely understand, and I sometimes wish we had what we had available to us now when I was a hot young thing, you know, when I was, you know, in my 20s and, you know, just doing it, you know. But it didn't work out that way. But the message still is that I did so much, and did it ever get done correctly? So yeah, streamline it, you know, do 5 great things and then just really tighten those things up. You saying you're gonna do 15 just to feel great, like put it on your notes, put it in your calendar, schedule it, and you can revisit it all. I'm not saying you can't achieve so much. I'm the type of person who, like, let's say you're watching one of those like architectural digest videos or these like, you know, $1 million homes or whatever. I never look at those things as out of my reach. If you put the work in, you can get that. I always say that. So I'm not against you wanting so much. I'm just against, like, don't burn yourself out. There you go. Don't burn yourself out. Why would you want to burn yourself out? Like, pacing is everything. Pacing is everything. And I think it's just such a growing trend to be like, never not working. You get credibility that way. People are like, yeah, you go. And I'm like, I've been there. I have done it too. And it has not been great in the long run. You know, obviously in my 20s I could do it, in my 30s I could do it, 35 I could do it, but as I'm getting a little older, you know, 36, 37 and so on and so forth, it's like, I just got to pick the things that I'm great at, lend my voice, collaborate with people that I care about the most. It doesn't need to be about quantity, both with goals and who you work with and who your friendships are. It's about quality. Again, I didn't mean to make this rant a life coach thing, but it kind of is turning into that. So this is just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes your mind just gets you into this space where you're like, you know what? I gotta drop a little knowledge. So if you enjoy it, difficultpodcasters.com, me and my co-host Kelly, we have done so many episodes. So go to the backlog, check them out. And I'm sure you could subscribe, or I'm sure there's like a Patreon or like something you could help us out with. Why not? So that's the maximization you should be doing. You should say, I like this randomly Ronnie and Kelly. They get it done, and sustainability is big, and consistency is big. Nothing's important if you can't be consistent with it. And we are. We just may take a lot of breaks because we're tired now. You should have met us when we were 28 years old. We're just tearing it up. Now it's like, where is my nap time? So, but do you go for yours, get it all. Achieve as much as you possibly can. If work is what you're built on, do that thing. Get that money.